Good evening, everyone. Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stock Durbar with Team William India. I'm Rushit Seshwal, Equity Analyst at O'Neill India. So before we begin our session, please go through the disclaimer and whatever stocks that we discuss today or the index level that we discuss. So please do not consider it that as an investment advice. It's just for the knowledge and the discussion purpose. Any decision, please have your own research or you can take help of your investment advisors. So whatever we discuss today, please don't take it as a direct investment advice. Okay, let's begin with Nifty 50 setup. I can all this too. I hope my chart is visible and my voice is clear.
Yes, Sujit, it is clear and visible.
Thanks so much. Okay, so it was a tough week indeed. Not only this one, but even the last Friday was very tough. We made a new high, but from then there was a sharp reversal. And this week, right, starting from the more than 0.5% loss on around a flat closing on Monday, more than 0.5% loss on Tuesday, and yesterday that 1.5% loss on the Nifty on the higher volume. So the distribution day count has increased to 3. So distribution day count है जो कि market का top identify करने में use होता है, that has increased to 3. Okay, and that's why we had downgraded the market status to an uptrend under pressure. जो अभी हम uptrend में चल रहे थे, अभी वो 50 DMA के नीचे आ गए हम. Distribution day has also increased, and hence we have shifted the market to an uptrend under pressure. Now, whenever the market is in under pressure, it is very important to be careful in adding the new positions, and you should be very careful with your existing positions. If you see that the key moving averages are getting breached on a higher volume, then you should cut losses or book profit in that particular stock. वो बहुत important हो जाता है जब भी market under pressure में होता है तो. Now broadly if you see, Nifty is almost 800 points from its high, बट जो प्रेशर है वो मिड कैप स्मॉल कैप के सिलेक्टेड शेयर्स में काफी बढ़ा हुआ था. सो दैट वाज वन ऑफ द प्रेशर एरिया इन द ब्रॉडर मार्केट, स्पेशली येस्टरडे बहुत प्रेशर बिल्टअप हो गया था ब्रॉडर मार्केट में. इवन 1.5% इन निफ्टी देयर वाज लॉस. सी टू थ्री थिंग्स. फर्स्टली यू विल बी like thinking कि भाई यूएस में तो सब ठीक चल रहा है, everything is going good in the US market, it's going higher and higher after the Fed मीटिंग और जो उनका employment data वगैरह आया तो the things are pretty good in the global markets. But why us? So see, we are into the election month, and we might decouple for a time being from the global market, and that's what always happens when such a big country, we are the biggest democracy, and when we go into the election, there is always a bit of decoupling in India. Okay, so the macro indicators remains good on the result front also. So Q4 results have been robust, and there was no major red flag that you might have seen in the Q4 results. Some of the leading companies delivering really well. Okay, there are always few pockets which won't deliver as they are expected. या फिर वहां पे revenue में या NIM growth में या earnings में कहीं पे भी there might be a small or big problem, but that is a selective pockets. But broadly, if you see, the earnings have been decent as far as the last 1 month. So there's no major issue in the macro and the micro fund, the government capex XYZ, but the policy continuation pressure that the market is having a hangover of कि भाई अभी क्या होगा, what will be the election result, how will be the policy continuation be there, will there be. So the expectation is the current government might continue. Okay, and it's a very strong expectation. So अगर वहां पे कुछ ऊपर नीचे हुआ नहीं हुआ, that is a different thing. There's a lot of talks around the voting percentage. that there is some 3-4% broader fall in the voting percentage, and that might hurt the current ruling party. So that is also the things that are going on. Plus FIS का heavy selling आ रहा है. So you will see the domestic में कुछ problem नहीं है भाई. अभी देखो जो एस आई पीज है 20,000 करोड़ के ऊपर मंथली एस आई पी चल रही है, ठीक है. सो देयर इज अ ह्यूज इन्फ्लो इन द इंडियन मार्केट. But the main thing is about the FIA selling. So since last few days they are constantly selling. और वो सेलिंग भी थोड़ा ज्यादा है, ऐसा नहीं है यार 200 400 500 करोड़ का माल बेच दिया. दे आर सेलिंग इन ह्यूज एंड दैट्स व्हाट. अगर उस हिसाब से प्रेशर देखे तो काफी सारा हमारे डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टर्स ने, जो रिटेल है, म्यूचुअल फंड हाउसेज है, डीआईआईज है, उसने काफी कुछ एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया है उस हिसाब से देखे तो. क्योंकि देखो ऑलमोस्ट 23,000 के पास वाला निफ्टी, 22,800 वाला निफ्टी अगर 800 पॉइंट गिरता है तो इट इज नॉट समथिंग ह्यूज फॉल. ओके, सो इट्स नॉट टाइम टू चेंज द स्टांस टू बियरिश. हाँ, अंडर प्रेशर है, दैट इज द फैक्ट. 50 डीए में ब्रीच कर दिया, दैट मींस इट इज अ बिट अंडर प्रेशर. बिकॉज सी जनरली 50 डीएमए को होल्ड कर रहा है. देखो यहाँ पे एक दिन गिरा था. Let me draw it again. See, here there was one day below 200 DM, 50 DM, sorry, but it again reclaimed. यहाँ भी ऐसा ही हुआ था. At this point of time also, this is the second day. Okay, so yesterday we breached 50 DM. Today we didn't made a new low. Okay, and the closing was in the positive. Now let's see if in early next week if we reclaim the 50 DMA, then that will be positive for the market. If we fail to reclaim the 50 DMA और अभी का ये जो yesterday का low breach हुआ, then I think the next level of support for the Nifty can be this one, the 700 level. यहाँ पे 700 to 800 के बीच में दो बार निफ्टी ने एक पोटेंशियल बॉटम बनाने का ट्राई किया है, मिड टर्म वाला. बट अभी देखते हैं, अगर वहां से भी कट हुआ देन आई थिंक वी माइट टेस्ट 200 डीएमए विच विल बी नोटेबल फॉल. आई थिंक अभी अगर 200 डीएमए का लेवल हम देखें तो विच इज समवेयर अराउंड 20,825, तो इट इज ट्रेंडिंग हायर. तो फिर जो नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ सपोर्ट होगा वो 21,000 का होगा. तो यहाँ से 1,000 पॉइंट और गिर सकता है. बट before that, I think this 700 to 800 zone is a very, very good support for Nifty. So let's see if we can hold that level. On the higher side, we reclaim 50 and 200 DMA, which are very close. So 50 DMA है 22,300 पे, 21 DMA है 381 पे. Okay, so this 300 to 400 वाला zone अगर हम ऊपर जाते हैं, then we will, there are high chances कि 23,000 एक नया high हम बना सकते हैं. Okay, so 22 300 400 ऊपर और 700 to 800 नीचे. So I think this is the broader range for the current series. May के लिए that will be important with a lot of volatility expected due to the the countries and the elections. And whichever side we get a breakout or breakdown, we might see some movement on 3 to 4 5% movement on that side. Now, if you look at some of the key sectors, so there was a sharp selling in the Nifty Bank. So yesterday it breached its 50 DMA and closed below it. यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम भी ज्यादा था. ओवरऑल बैंक्स के रिजल्ट देखे तो वो काफी डिसेंट है. उसमें भी दो पार्ट हो गए. एक तरफ HDFC कोटक है, दूसरी तरफ बाकी के सब. Axis देखो, ICICI Bank, the SBI. Today I think the Bank of Baroda also reported. So जम्मू कश्मीर और जो भी PSU बैंक है उनके काफी डिसेंट रिजल्ट आए, एक दो छोड़ के. द रिजल्ट फ्रंट दैट इज फाइन. Okay, there is no major issue, but technically if you see, and I think it is very close to its 50 DMA, so it should continue to hold above 50 DMA और 21 को reclaim करना important हो जाता है. If you look at Nifty Auto, then the auto sales have been robust. Okay, and this time even the the demand is good. The EVs are coming up, new and new models are there. So there is a robust demand of autos. Even the auto ancillaries, जो टायर्स हो गए, बैटरीज का हमने देखा काफी अच्छा मोमेंटम आया. इवन while market was falling in this last 1-2 weeks, थोड़ा वीक था मार्केट, फिर भी यहाँ पे देखो 21 डीए में भी ब्रीच नहीं हुआ और ये कल के सेशन में नया हाई बना के आया था. दिस इज थर्सडे का कैंडल है, आज का अभी अपडेटेड नहीं है। सो कल जब मार्केट 1.5% डाउन था, ये निफ्टी ऑटो नया हाई बना के आया था। तो दिस इज हाउ स्ट्रॉन्ग द ऑटो इंडेक्स इज। अभी important क्या है कि if auto index is strong, then your focus should be on the quality stocks among the auto and the auto ancillaries. जो स्टॉक एक बेस से ब्रेकआउट होता है, आइडियली स्टेज 1 2, if very good then 3, if अगर फर्स्ट 1 to 3 स्टेज से ब्रेकआउट होता है, the fundamentals are good, the technical ratings are solid, that is where you should park your money according to O'Neill methodology. Now if you look at Nifty IT, यहाँ पे अभी भी प्रेशर बना हुआ है। ओके, एग्जीक्यूशन नहीं हो रहा है, जो ऑर्डर बुक है उसमें से द थिंग्स आर नॉट येट robust as far as the technology spends are concerned. So it might take some time. There were expectations कि जो कैलेंडर ईयर 24 है, सॉरी 20, ये 24 जो फर्स्ट हाफ है अभी कैलेंडर ईयर का, वहां पे एक अच्छा मोमेंटम बिल्ड होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा। Q4 में काफी कुछ एग्जीक्यूशन अच्छा होगा, बट दैट हैज नॉट बीन द केस। जो मार्केट एक्सपेक्ट कर रही थी उतना मिला नहीं है। आईटी के जो बिगर नेम है उनको इतना बिजनेस, ओके देर इज अ स्ट्रेंथ इन द स्मॉलर नेम्स, जो स्मॉल टिकट साइज में डील करते हैं उनका एग्जीक्यूशन फास्ट है, उसका उनका बिलिंग फास्ट है, उनको प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रहा है। बट जो मेजर क्लाइंट्स है वहां पे देर इज अ बिट इश्यू। सो यू शुड वेट ओवर हियर। अभी ये सारी मूविंग एवरेजेस के नीचे है, सो नॉट अ गुड टाइम टू गो बिहाइंड द आईटी। If you look at the FMCG, so this is where we have seen some improvement. यहाँ पे अभी 200 DMA के पास था ये वाला, and from there it has rebound and it has gained some around 5% from there. And जो पूरा ये जनवरी फरवरी मार्च अप्रैल जब मार्केट अच्छा किया, दिस वाज मूविंग साइडवेज टू डाउनवर्ड्स, इवन 200 डे में ब्रीच किया, बट नाउ देर आर फ्यू ग्रीन शॉट्स दैट आर कमिंग फ्रॉम द रूरल इकोनॉमी। जो सबसे मेजर इशू था एफएमसीजी कंपनीज के लिए, दैट देर इज नो मेजर डिमांड कमिंग फ्रॉम द रूरल इकोनॉमी, वो अभी आने लगी है। द मैनेजमेंट कमेंट्रीज आर रिफ्लेक्टिंग दैट, एंड दैट्स व्हाट, then that's why this index has gained a lot of technical strength. No doubt कल काफी रिवर्सल हुआ, and I think major reversal over here yesterday was due to one particular share ITC। ITC मेजर वेटेज है इसमें, और उसमें एक मेजर फॉल था, उसकी वजह से यहाँ पे नीचे गया है। बट ब्रॉडली दिस इज द टाइम टू वॉच आउट फॉर सच इंडेक्स, क्योंकि अब जब नेक्स्ट रैली होगी, then the index like FMCG which are based on the rural economy, they might perform well. Now, if you look at one of the big winner sector, that is Nifty Realty, it's superb। इनके देखो प्रोजेक्ट, मतलब बहुत फास्ट सेलिंग हो रही है, इन्वेंटरी लेवल इज एट अ मल्टी ईयर लो, द प्राइस दैट दे आर गेटिंग इज क्वाइट हाई फॉर देयर ऑल द प्रोजेक्ट्स। न्यू प्रोजेक्ट्स लॉन्चेस भी इतने हैं, उसका सेल आउट भी इतना फास्ट हो रहा है। सो ऑन ऑल द फ्रंट्स, जो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड रियल एस्टेट प्लेयर है, the word organized is very important over here। the organized real estate player है, वहां पे काफी डिमांड है उनके जो प्रोजेक्ट्स की, एंड दैट्स व्हाट गेटिंग रिफ्लेक्टेड इन लास्ट 1.5 year in this chart। almost all the realty stocks are trading near its fresh high। Okay, so next we take metal। So yes, metal also did well. I think the recovery of growth in the global economy, especially some green shots expected in the Chinese market, that is building a lot of positive momentum for the metal। So metals के जैसे जैसे फेरस नॉन फेरस दोनों की डिमांड्स और प्राइसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, उसमें भी जो मेटल्स लाइक यू से द कॉपर द एल्यूमिनियम, वहाँ पे काफी प्राइस इंक्रीज हुआ है। एंड इवन द स्टील का जो प्राइसेस है वहाँ पे भी इम्प्रूवमेंट इज एक्सपेक्टेड, एंड जो डंपिंग है वो कम होने वाला है ग्लोबल मार्केट में, सो दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉजिटिव। Okay, so now I think we talked a lot about sectors. So now let's go to your stock specific queries. And me, Rajshekhar, and Wakar, we will try to answer as many queries as possible. In between, if there is something, some group or some sector missing, then we will try to cover it. And please don't post your questions multiple times because this is a live session. So scroll back करके वो थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है. So just post it only once. We will try to answer it all, as many as possible. And in case also if you miss it, then you can always email us. Over to you, Raj.
Thanks, Sushit. Yes, a very good on the introduction part. We will continue with the stock specific queries as mentioned. I'll start with a few queries. I'll start with BEL, Bharat Electronics. This is one of the very good stock from the PSU space, which has done very good in the last 1.5 year or so. And it has broken out from its stage 5 base recently, around November, December area. And from there, it is extended to the pivot. And as you can see here, it is 54% from the pivot. So it is one, you can say it's a successful breakout from stage 5 as well. And in between, it has tested its 50 DMA a couple of times, but it has found good support at its 50 DMA during its encores from the breakout. Very good story about the company. It has been very in a very good space, especially in the manufacturing space related to uh, communication equipment. And the ratings wise, also it is looking very good. You can see EPS is at 86, a very good number. And technical ratings also still intact at 83 RS is a very good number. That indicates a very good performance of the stock compared to other stocks in the universe. And ABD rating is also very good at 3. So everything is looking very good. Only concern is that it's a late stage base, and we need to wait for the stock to form a base from here to take a fresh entry. Otherwise, if you are already are holding, if you are looking for a exit point, I think 50 DMA can be taken as a good exit level because that has acted as a good support in the recent past. Next is NCC. This stock has also done very good recently for the last 1 year. It's a stage 3 breakout, as it is pointed out. You can see it's a double bottom stage 3 breakout, and from there, it's a very similar story with the BE. It has advanced 43% from the breakout, and 50 DMA is a very good support for this stock as well. So that is the reason we say 50 DMA and 200 DMA is it's very crucial to track those levels because most of the stocks will follow these moving averages, and more often it will be acting as good support for many of the stocks. So that is the reason 50 DM is picked among the moving averages for the support levels. And looking at the ratings, you can see a red flag on the EPS front, slightly on the lower side, but technical ratings have been very good. And EPS is due in 5 days. The results are expected in the upcoming week. So EPS might improve because if the EPS improves and sales improves, definitely we'll see a improvement on the EPS strength as well. So that's not a major concern. So and also on the week going towards the result, we do not consider those stocks for adding because there might be volatile action in those stocks. And there is no ideal buy point at this moment as well. There is no very dead action in this stock. You can see last 2 to 3 weeks, it has moved nowhere. It is traded very close to its 50 DMA, and the volumes have also completely dried up. That indicates that investors are also not sure about the company's prospects, whether it will be going higher or lower. They are waiting for the results, and results can act as a catalyst for the stock to move higher or lower. So let's wait and watch for the results. And the results come out very good, definitely a very good stock to accumulate. And TDMA can be taken as a good buy point as well, looking at the results. Next is IEX. It's a stage 1B double bottom base, but it failed to break out from that base pattern, and from there it has come under selling pressure, and it has lost more than 8% from the pivot. So definitely stop loss would have taken a hit if you have taken position in the pivot. But the base structure is also very wide and loose, as you can see. Uh, Normally, we would like to see it's very close pattern to happen. That means the stock is consolidating in the base, but that has not happened in this particular base. You can see wide and loose patterns on the left side of the double bottom base, especially. Uh, EPS has also taken a hit because of recent selling. RS line has also come down to RS rating has come down slightly lower to 31. So it's better to wait for the stock to again form another base from here because it's not a very ideal base which it has formed. Uh, and also EPS is also due in 5 days, so earnings are expected in the upcoming week. So if the earnings come out very good and if the stock consolidates for a period of 1 or 2 weeks, definitely you can take a decision regarding that. But now it is not a good time to enter in this particular stock.
Thanks, Raj. Vakarya, I'll take some queries.
Sure.
Yeah. Uh, just give me a second. I'm scrolling through the queries. Can you give me BSC, then Canara Bank? So, I mean, in the last few days, as we all know, there has been a sell-off, and especially in the Nifty Banks segment, and Canara Bank being in that segment, you can see that as a private banking space, there is some sell-off, and it has happened on. If you look at the volumes as well, there has been some sell-off on heavy volumes. So that is one of the main concerns that would like to point out. And two, I mean, from a positional perspective, if one sees it, the pivot is more than 56% from here. So if some deterioration happened and the sell-off happened on above average volume, people should have cut out their position on the 50 DMA breach because the 50 DMA breach was on above average volume. And new position at this moment should not be taken considering no base pattern is getting formed at this moment. Wait for a new base pattern to form because of the recent sell-off. As you can see, RS or the relative strength for the stock has deteriorated a lot, and similarly buyer demand because a lot of distribution has happened in the stock, and that is why the buyer demand or the AYD rating has gone down for this stock. The next we can go is IDFC First Bank. Thank you. Again, pretty similar story as you can see, but here already a downtrend was happening, and because of that downtrend, if you see, the RS and the buyer demand is very weak at 23, and C it becomes very weak. Overall, I mean, in terms of financials or in terms of the result, I mean, this quarter result for the stock was also not that good. Similarly, you can see in the EPS rating as well, there has been a decline in profits. And similarly, overall asset quality for the stock, asset quality for the bank is also not that good and has been deteriorating. And similarly, can be seen in the price strength as well. Overall, funds are kind of moving away from the stock. So even fund holding for the stock is declining. So overall, it is not fitting into the Camflin criteria. Uh, New position into the stock is not advisable since we are not into bottom fishing. The stock probably needs to reclaim its 2150 and 200 DMA going forward when it moves higher and probably forms another base. RS line moves higher, probably even on the fundamental front needs some kind of improvement. When probably all of that happens, maybe at that moment one can look at the stock. The next can be Hero Motorcom. So the stock recently came out with its result. I mean, yesterday or a couple of days back, and you can see the stock had a very good result. And after that, the stock is moving higher. Overall, it was slightly in terms of, if you talk about from the consensus estimates, at par with consensus estimates, slightly below. But the overall auto sector is doing well, and it is one of the better performing sectors in the market at this moment. And Hero MotoCorp being one of the leading stocks in the sector, it's kind of benefiting from that sectoral trend as well, and that is what is happening. If you look at the right hand side of the base, good accumulation is happening on the right hand side of the base, which is a very very good sign. RS line is moving higher, and probably maybe a blue dot can also happen in the next few days. The stock is very very close to the pivot. Fund holding for the stock is increasing. EPS strength and overall sales is very good. ROE at 22% is very good. Anything above 17 in the Cancelim criteria turns out to be very good. And going forward, the only thing is, if, will the market sustain in terms of has rebounded very well today in terms of the overall market, the broader market. Going forward, if the stock probably breaks out, and if it fits in your criteria in terms of uh, the personal investment criteria that you guys have set out, then it can definitely be a good stock to watch out for. I mean, probably fits in all the canceling criterias at this moment.
Thanks, Vakar. I'll take few queries here. So there is one question related to as a group or sector as a logistic. See, broadly, logistic sector turns out to be very positive for next few years in India. Overall, as a sector, it has a lot of tailwinds. Basically, it's linked to the growth in India. Okay, so we are going at a the growth is very good as far as our GDP is concerned. Okay, plus the infrastructure has increased a lot in India. So when you combine with this infrastructure, whether it's roadways, the ports, etc., plus the growth in the GDP, so that's always positive scenario for the logistic players. Okay, plus nowadays they have adopted a lot of technology, तो जो उनका जो margins है वो काफी improve हो गया है. So greater adoption of technology जो उन्होंने किया है, ठीक है, उसकी वजह से the price is very competitive and उनका margin भी काफी grow हुआ है. Second thing is जो ऑनलाइन पेनिट्रेशन है, जो रिटेल पेनिट्रेशन है, वो काफी बढ़ चुका है. एंड दैट इज इंक्रीजिंग मोर एंड मोर. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारा जो एक वो डिलीवरी जो जो भी ऑनलाइन साइट से होती है उसका पेनिट्रेशन कम हुआ है. दैट इज नॉट द केस. ओके, एंड दैट्स व्हाई देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ पेनिट्रेशन in India. So broadly linked with the the GDP growth, the penetration of the deliveries in India. So all these logistic players will get a lot of benefit from that. And so as a sector, it's quite robust, but you need to be very very selective as far as the stocks are concerned. I mean, selective. I mean, you should have that the stock should have a very good fundamental rating, good technical rating. You should buy at a proper point. ऐसा ना हो कि एक proper point पे buy ना किया हो and you get stuck in that stock. So that becomes very important. Now let's take a few stocks and then we'll take another sector if it is there. So there's one question on BSC. Okay, so BSC had a very good breakout from a stage one cup base and first week of April. After that, it had hit the power to pivot. So the power to pivot means 20% plus gain in less than 3 weeks. So this scenario is very positive for any stock. ठीक है, अभी इसमें हुआ गया था कि there was a 1 day almost 13-14% fall on April 29. That was purely news based. Okay, the news were it was a confirmed news. ऐसा कोई नहीं था कि सिर्फ डिस्कशन चल रहा था. That SEBI had imposed some fine or they have asked for some, the checking in the payment that they do to SEBI, the fees had been increased. जो पुराना था, जो कैलकुलेशन बीएससी करता था उससे डिफरेंट कैलकुलेशन सेबी ने बताया एंड वहां पे कुछ अराउंड 180-90 करोड़ का एडिशनल पेनल्टी पे करना पड़ेगा बीएससी को. सो दैट वाज द केस एंड दैट्स व्हाई देयर वाज अ ह्यूज फॉल इन द बीएससी एंड सिंस देन इट इज मूविंग साइडवेज. इस बार का रिजल्ट काफी अच्छा है. आई थिंक आफ्टर इनका इन लोगों ने ये जो प्रोविजन कर दिया सेबी का पेमेंट का, उसके बाद भी some 20-25% growth in the profit was there. But now it is facing resistance near its 21 DMA, support है 50 DMA, और जब गिर रहा है then I think broadly अगर ये एक दिन निकाल दो तो volume is a bit on the lower side. So what's most important is 21 DMA reclaim. अगर जो 2869 is the level for 21 DMA, roughly देखो अगर 2900 के ऊपर ये volume से trade करता है then that is the ideal time to you know get the position in the stock, because it will be a rebound from 50 DMA sharply over here. So it will be an alternate entry point according to O'Neill methodology. The second thing is, if you are already holding the stock, then the 50 DMA level becomes very crucial around 25, 50, 70. If the 50 DMA is breached on a higher volume, it's always good to book profit or cut losses in a particular stock. Otherwise, fundamentally, BSE remains strong. The way the penetration is increasing in the Indian market, okay, the new accounts opening, there are every day, like every month, you will see there is a increased in number of accounts in the brokerage firm. So the trading volume is increasing, and that will definitely benefit BSE. There are few YouTube queries as well. I will take one of them, Mazgaon Doc. So yeah, this is one of the top winner, or you can say the big winner of last year. Currently, it had formed a stage 5 base. So no ideal base to watch out for. Generally, one, two, and third base are the most important. So after breakout, अभी देखो यहाँ 5A के base के breakout के बाद भी वो इतना अच्छा नहीं किया था, and अभी 5B के बाद भी it is not able to perform that well. So if you are holding the stock, then I think it is very close to 50 and 200 DMA. You can use it that as an stop loss level. On the flip side, I think fresh entry not suggested according to O'Neill on a higher base. But yeah, so on the downside, this 50 and 200 DMA becomes important to hold. बाकी fundamentals इसके काफी अच्छे हैं. The earnings growth has been robust. The ROE is good. Fund holdings are increasing, and even the sector as a whole, that is really really good. There are a lot of tailwinds for the sector. But let's see. I think technicals, the higher state basis, are something which is not supporting it. So next question is on Vedanta. This is also a YouTube query. Okay, so this has given a very good breakout from a stage 1 cup base, but fundamentals इतने strong नहीं है. Technically, अभी ये काफी extended है. Here also there is a green flag over here. That means it has hit power to pivot, and then it is moving sideways and consolidating above its 21 DMA. So if you are holding the stock, then I think 21 DMA is good for to have it as a stop loss. A fresh entry above pivot, 20% above pivot is not suggested according to O'Neill. टेक्निकल रेटिंग इसके काफी अच्छे हैं, ठीक है, बट फंडामेंटल रेटिंग्स आर क्वाइट पुअर एंड नॉट ideal stock to go for as far as the fundamentals are concerned. But if you are trading just only based on technicals, then it looks solid, but it is quite extended, so you need to manage your stop loss very well.
Thanks, Yashit. I'll take few queries. I'll start with persistent systems. Persistent has done very good in the recent past. For the last 1 year, it has done very good. But around the 4,500, 450 level, it has hopped out, and you can see it from there, it started to fall. And in the meantime, it reached its key moving averages as well. And the recent quarter endings are not so good. You can see left side bottom, you can see EPS has come down almost 30% in the March quarter endings. That is a major catalyst for the stock to which has taken a beating. And you can see from there it has come near to its 200 DMA. Currently, it is active, very trading very close to its 200 DMA. And technical ratings have also taken a hit because of this price volume action. Price strength and buyer demand both have come down to the poor category, which is not a positive sign. So EPS strength is still at 93, but the recent quarter earnings are not so good. It's better to wait for the company for 1 or 2 months to see how the stock performs. Right now, by looking at the onset, it is not looking good. I think it will take another quarter to show itself the caliber the company has. Until then, it's better to stay away from this company. And today's low can be kept as a stop loss because today it has made a new low, so that can be kept as a stop loss, and you can exit as soon as that level is reached. Next is Power India. I think it is Power Grid. I think. Power Grid. Can you show me the base count, Rashid? Yeah, so stage two base cup base pattern, and recently it has broken out from that base. Currently, it is trading in the ideal buy range. March quarter results are not yet out for the company, and the date is also not yet in this system. So I think it is in the next couple of weeks we might see the result. But uh, ratings wise, it is looking good. EPS is at 68, and RS strength is also fair enough at 72. Uh, And only thing that is lagging is overall strength is not looking good. You can see ratings are fair enough, but we like to see stronger ratings around 80, 85 because at the current moment the market is under pressure. So it's better to stick with stronger stocks in terms of ratings rather than looking for taking bets on stocks which has lower ratings. And it is a very good story. There is no doubt about it. Power Grid has done very good in the recent past as well. Uh, I think you can, if you are looking for a fresh entry, or if your capital is at idle, I think you can start pyramiding slightly, taking few positions. But the volume is on the lower side recently. Let the volume also increase in this particular stock on the day of breakout, or if you are taking a position, the volume should be on the higher side. And for the stop loss level, you can keep a very tight stop loss because in this market, it's better to keep 6 to 7% of stop loss in the system rather than waiting for higher stop losses. I think 50 DMA can be kept as a good level for the stock to keep as a stop loss. Next is Power Mech. Powermech, it is trading in a stage to be consolidation based pattern, but recently, in the last 1 week, it has started to uh, fall and it reached its moving averages as well. 50 DMA has been breached, which is a major sign of concern. Only 200 DMA is uh, still holding. The last 1 year, it has never tested its 200 DM. That is a very good sign. That means the stock has done very good in the last 1 year. That is a very positive sign. The ratings are not looking good. EPS is at 44 and price trend is also at 53. Both are technical and fundamental ratings are not looking good. And the stock is still 14% to the pivot. So and the earnings for the March quarter are not yet out. The earnings for the March quarter come out very good. Definitely, RS rating will improve, and EPS strength will improve, and RS rating will also improve if the stock breaks out from here because there is still 14% to pivot, and the volume picks up. ABD rating will also improve. Until then, it's better to wait and watch this particular stock as well.
Thanks, Raj. Vakaria, I'll take some queries from you.
Sure, sure.
So just give me a second. Is Astral and KPIT taken?
No.
No. Okay, fine. I'll take those. So as you can see, Astral is trading in the ideal buy zone at this moment. But as you can see, the re-breakout that has happened, the re-breakout has happened on lower volumes. I mean, that is what is being pointed. And even the EPS is due in 7 days. So not probably the not the most ideal time to buy before when the EPS is just 1 week away. And as you can see, the price strength is also at 50, but the RS line is moving higher. Right hand side, the only problem that is happening for me is that no major signs of accumulation. While if you look at bisect and go to the left hand side of the base, when the stock fell and created the 1878.6 low, the fall was on very heavy volumes, and that shows very high signs of distribution. So, according to our methodology, we'll probably say that, let's wait for the result one and two, even the breakout. The breakout has not happened on heavy volumes. So, I mean, that is what is being pointed here. And that that is the major concern at this moment. And going forward, I mean, if the breakout is really successful, maybe going forward it will sustain out. And if you look at it from the very longer term perspective, the stock has kind of moving in a very range bound scenario. In the last 1.5 year, there has been other stocks which have given multi-year breakouts or multi-month breakouts and have moved higher from their pivot. If you look at, if you talk about Astral, it has been forming uh, sideways bases at this moment. I mean, the base count is not increasing one, two, three, and upwards. It is kind of going A, B, C, and D onwards. And that is the major concern going forward for the stock. Whether this breakout, considering the lower volume breakout, will it be successful or not? So maybe if we wait for the results and in the results and post the con calls as well, if we get some good traction from the management that probably the future looks a little different and the future looks a little bit more positive for the overall piping industry and for even for the company, then at this moment you can make a more uh, better decisive call then. The next can be KPIT. Rishit, can you show me the stage count? Yeah. So that was my fear that it's a very, very late stage base. It's a 6B consolidation base. So stage count anywhere from four and higher. We consider it as a late stage base. And that is why you can see after the fifth or the fourth or the fifth base, it is kind of moving in a very sideways manner. That is, the stock is losing out on the stream. If someone had bought the stock on a very earlier breakout, can probably keep at this moment the 200 DMA as their stop loss level. If that goes, if 200 DMA is broken out, then probably can move out of the stock. If you had entered maybe at the second stage or the third stage breakout, because overall, if you look at the price trend is also flattening out for the stock. That is the earliest stream that the stock had maybe at the second or the third breakout. It is not having it at this moment. What Rushil probably pointed out in the start of the session, that IT is one of the, the laggard sector at this moment, and it needs some kind of turnaround to happen in terms of the global economy, in terms of the major developed economies such as Europe and US, where the major billings for these IT companies happened. Some kind of revival in the economy needs to happen in those sectors. Then only the IT companies will start moving back again. So can keep a stop loss of 200, trailing stop loss of 200 DMA. If probably that gets taken out, then 100% move out of the stock. Someone who wants to make a new entry, there are other better stocks available in the market at this moment, considering it to be a high stage base and two, being in a laggard sector at this moment. The next that we can look at it is uh, United Breweries. United Breweries is taken. So what Rushad is pointing out, that's a one C base, and On the right hand side of the base, I mean, the accumulation is kind of abrupt, where you can see the stock is moving higher and lower both on above average volumes, which is not that a great sign. If someone had bought the stock at the breakout, I mean, considering their own views and overall technical fundamental views, can continue to hold as the stock is in the ideal buy zone. And at the breakout, it did hit a blue dot as well. So going forward, can probably trail the 21 DMA or the 50 DMA. At this moment, the stock is below the 21 DMA, so probably can trail the 50 DMA and have a look in terms of if the 50 DMA gets hit out. And overall, if you look at uh, um, the technical setup for the stock, the technical setup is not the most ideal one that at canceling we would like it to happen.
Thanks, Vaka. There is a question on CDSL. Okay, so the stock is formed the stage one double bottom phase, and it's a really good one. I think the breakout was also decent, but it was, struggling near its pivot, even in the weaker market, though it is a bit volatile. But broadly, if you see, इतना भी fall नहीं आया है यहाँ पे, and it is trying to hold a few levels. Today, it had breached its 21 DMA, but let's see if next week, if it reclaims its 21 DMA, then that will be really good. The earnings have been superb. If you can see the last 3-4 quarters, even this bar, 89% growth in the EPS, that's excellent. Even the sales grew around 90%. And this might continue the way, the accounts are coming, the way the stock market industry in India is growing. CDSL is the direct beneficiary because it is there are only two depositories in India, mainly NSDL and CDSL. So this among them gets a very good benefit of the growth in the stock market industry in the India. Broadly, if it reclaims, technically अगर देखे तो 21 DMA अगर reclaim करता है यहाँ से, then it might give a good entry point, but the volume should be higher. Broadly, the RS ratings are really good. The buyer demand is decent. EPS is excellent. So it's a good one. Only thing to watch out for is on the lower side. If the market gives up the gains, then 50 DMA should be used as the stop loss to cut the losses or book the profit because it has already breached the 21 DMA. So next level of support will be the 50 DMA, which is around 1900. If it is breached, we might see some more fall over here. But if we reclaim 21 DMA on a higher volume, you might see some good momentum in this setup. Okay, next we can take Cochin Shipyard. So that was a good breakout from a stage 4 base, generally a higher base, but the way the tailwinds are for this, sector, that's really good. And if you look at all the ratings, the earnings growth, it has been excellent. So even after the stage 4 base, the stock was in a very good momentum. And in this market sell-off, when Nifty has breached its 50 DMA, the mid cap, small caps are getting sold down. The stock is still holding its 21 DMA. आज भी 21 DMA पे support लिया, and it is just 8 to 10% of highs over last many days. और कुछ इतना heavy volume selling भी नहीं हुआ है यहाँ पे अगर आप देखें तो. See, the volume on the lower days has been quite a bit low over here. So this is a good stock to hold on if you're already holding. Fresh entry not suggested. It's quite extended, 31% from pivot. But if you see, like, you can get a chance for an alternate entry. अगर ये 50 DMA के नजदीक आता है, and when it rebounds from there, then according to O'Neill, it always gives you an alternate entry to buy. So you need to watch out for that. Okay, if I take one more stock, Anand Raj. So that's what I was talking about at the start of this webinar about the real estate sector. And this one is one of the very prominent player in the North India. And it has given a breakout from stage 3. It is currently after the could break out, it is moving sideways. इस बार का result था इसका बहुत ही अच्छा था. It was a robust result. Plus the number of fund holdings has increased notably. अगर आप देखें, number of funds holding the stock has increased 30% in just last one quarter, and shares held by fund has increased almost 51% in last one quarter. बाकी इसका EPS rating, RS at a blue dot है, fresh high है RS. Buyer demand is A plus, that is excellent. It is among the top groups. Okay, it is moving sideways in the buy zone. 5% from pivot है, तो थोड़ा ऊपर की range में है buy zone के. So ideally you can say yes, it is very close to buy zone, but you need to do your own research to take a fresh position over here. But technically, fundamentally, this strong stock is very strong as far as the O'Neill parameters are concerned.
Rishit, I'll take few queries.
Yeah.
I think I'll start with Honeywell Automation. The stock has rallied today so much, around 8% today. That usually I should point it out. Uh, the volume was also very good, but the only thing is it's not a breakout. That is the only concern. It has not formed any base pattern recently. The ratings are also not looking good for the company. As you can see here, EPS price strength both are at poor category, which is not a positive sign. And results are expected to be announced in the upcoming week. A week before results, we are not going to take any fresh entry in any of the stocks because volatile action can be expected in the stocks prior to the results. So there is no fresh entry which is available at this particular moment. And for the stop loss level, I think it is just like extended more than 10% from the 50 DMA because of today's uh, surge. So I think 21 DMA can be kept as stop loss, which is 5%. If you are already holding it, but it is not advised to hold such stocks on your portfolio which are having lower ratings, especially in the times of turbulent times currently which we are going through. Next is eMudra. It's a stage two breakout from the consolidation base, and from there it has advanced 38%. So you can say it's a successful breakout from the recent breakout. The stock has had very good set of numbers, and the numbers are still continuously improving. You can see EPS, RS strength, the ABD rating, all are looking top notch for the company. A number of funds are also have increased significantly in the last quarter, around 85% of growth in the terms of number of funds. That signifies the company's interest among the institutional investors, especially. And institutional investors are the ones who give support to the stock when there is any sell off in the market. That is the reason you can see here this, especially many of the stocks and key benchmark indices have reached their moving averages, but this stock has not touched its 50 DMA. That is one of the prime positive factor of this particular point. And for fresh entry, it is not advised currently because it is extended from the pivot. But if you are holding this in your portfolio, you can continue to hold and you can keep 50 DM as a stop loss because that level has not been tested in the recent times as well. So once that level is breached, further selling is expected. So that can be taken as a stop loss going forward. I think I'll take JP Power as well. It's a very the stock has been hitting circuits. Can see here recently, most of the times it was hitting upper circuits and then couple of lower circuits as well. So it's a very turbulent stock, we can say, and especially we also uh, talk in our webinars and our learning articles as well. But we avoid circuit stocks. because that is very difficult to exit circuit stocks. Once you have taken position, couple of days it might hit upper circuit to your luck, but most of the times on the probability basis, it might hit a lower circuits as well. And on those cases, it's very difficult to exit. And in 2 to 3 trading sessions, if you have back-to-back lower circuits, so you'll be losing most of your capital. So that is the reason we avoid stocks which are hitting lower circuits or upper circuits. And on that basis, I think it's better to avoid stock like these as well going forward. I think next I'll move on to this query, that is HDFC AMC. Stage 2 flat base, it is trading in the stage 2 flat base. Currently on the lower side of the base, it is trading, and it is still 10% to the pivot. Recent sell-off has pushed this stock as well below its 50 DMA. And I think March quarter earnings have been very good for the company. You can see sales have grown 30% and profits have grown 44%. A very good set of numbers. Ratings are also very good. EPS is at 85, and price strength is slightly, you can say it's a fair enough rating considering the overall market. The only thing is it has a very good breakout previously. That is, previous breakout was a very good successful one, and so that is almost, I think, 100% gain was there from the previous breakout, around 80% gain. And this base formation is also has also been very good. Current base formation has been very good. The stock moved sideways, and the volumes have also stayed lower most of the times. So you can say it's a perfect base pattern as well. So if the stock comes above pivot, that is 10% from here on above average volumes, I think definitely a very good contender for adding to portfolio as well. I think I'll take one more query, and I think we can call it a day. I think we are already past 5:30, so we can take a one query. This Tata Motors has been asked a couple of times, especially from the YouTube. I think we can take that query as well. EPS is due today. That is, earnings are expected to it is announced today. I think earnings have also come out. I think you can watch, you can look into the earnings how the company has reported. But during the session, you can see the stock closed higher, and the volume was also higher. The last two sessions, stock closed higher. That is anticipating good set of numbers from the company. And if the numbers come out very good, then definitely going to break out in the next week. But if the numbers disappoint, definitely we see stock coming or reaching its moving average. So we need to analyze how the results have come out. Ratings are looking good. EPS is a 69. So you can say it's a good number. RS rating is also good at 80, and RS line has made a blue dot formation as well. It's a very positive sign. And the stock is very exactly very near the pivot at 2% to the pivot. So as soon as the stock breaks out on the higher values, definitely we can look for adding to portfolio, given that numbers are good and stock breaks out on higher volume. And for the stop loss level, 50 DMA can be kept as a stop loss because it has acted as a very good support in the last couple of times. And a couple of points below 50 DMA can be kept as stop loss, and you can ride on to the profits as long as it stays above that level. I think we can call it a session for today. We hope it was a good learning experience for everyone. I think most of the queries we try to answer as many as possible, and but still, due to the paucity of time, it's very difficult for us to answer each and every question. But by looking at the other queries also, you can analyze your specific query by looking at O'Neill's methodology. That is the overall objective of this session, to educate everyone here about the methodology and how to analyze a stock from price volume action front and other chart wise as well. And if you still feel that your stock is left out, you still want more analysis on your stock, you can write to us on email, marketing email, and we'll take some time during the market hours and try to answer your query as well on email. Thanks everyone for joining,
Thank you, Raj, and thank you everyone for joining the session.
and we hope to see you again at Monday's pre-bill. Thanks everyone.